Everybody has a different direction. They go in different ways. And it's really fascinating when I see a lot of people being mentored to be the same thing, to look the same as everybody else, but it's not their life. It's not what is going on inside and who they actually are. And this is one of the things that's the most challenging that I see that goes on, at least within the academic game. I'm sure it happens within the business environment. We're all people. I'm sure it happens with parents. So everybody is told to go in this certain path and that there is a sort of heroic way of doing it. And if you don't do it this particular way, then you're no longer good. And this story is told so many times, and you can see people internalize it, including myself, internalizing what it means to be somebody or something. And you have to push back against it, right? And the more that you internalize other people and other people's feedback, the more that you have to push back on that. And at least for me, this has been my thing, is I was always the good person and the good in the sense that I strongly listened to other people. I didn't want to upset anybody. I really didn't rebel. My rebelling was going and getting a university education, which was my rebellious effort. But I didn't do that. And so I was always trying to be what somebody else wanted me to be. And as I've gotten older, I realize that you just have to live your own path, may be very similar to what the other person is telling you to do. And at least for me, I think it's very similar to what everybody would consider is like, oh, this is a straight and narrow. This guy's done everything all this kind of way. But at least in my head, I know I'm walking mine, and it looks different than what other people are doing. And it really matters in terms of whether you control that particular path or not. And it's really fascinating because even within different areas, people question and they say, like, why are you doing that? This weekend, I went to a major conference and people were, well, good academics shouldn't be on social media. That's not what people should be doing. I've heard that same old story over and over and over again. And they're shooting and they're looking at you like, what are you doing? I've seen that look many times before, but I can't wait. You take it, you internalize it, and you put it in a little place so you can give them the middle finger the next time that you see them. And you can go and walk your walk. And I'm not saying like always permanently be in, spite and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is you walk a good walk. That's and you realize not everybody's going to agree with you. In fact, probably most people are not going to agree with you, or most people, this is literally what's going to happen, is that everybody's going to ignore you. They're not going to care about what you're doing and who you are. And one person is going to say something negative. But most people, they're going to be just completely indifferent. They don't care. And they're going to do their thing. They're very self-interested in who they actually are. So you have to walk your path, whatever that looks like for you. For me, it's doing this whole reciprocity project, trying to make it work. And by the way, I followed that path, that advice of that's not what good academics do. And it didn't get me anywhere. It wasn't the path for me. It was only when I started actually doing the things that, yes, I'm doing the thing that is awful. Then I started finding my path and what I was about and who I actually was. And I want you to internalize that and think about it. What is your path for you? And it doesn't have to be what everybody else is doing. Anybody that tells you that is not lived life. Anybody that tells you that is probably deeply insecure themselves. If you hear that, if you don't hear somebody that's in the back of your head, if somebody's not cheering you on and saying, that's a freaking awesome idea, go do it. Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about anyway. And you know what? If you do it and you try it for a month, you try it for a year and you don't like it and it's not working out for you, if somebody's not cheering you on to say, you know what, go do something else, then don't listen to those people either. It requires so much strength to walk your walk, and people don't understand that it is a challenging thing because not everybody is nice. In fact, most people are very indifferent. Indifferent in a negative way is what I'm saying. They don't care. And so you have to just walk your walk. You do the thing that makes you happy, and you keep doing that repeatedly. Nothing good in this world ever came from somebody doing the same thing that somebody else has done in the past. Nothing of importance anyways. Lots of things have been done that way, but everybody walks the same path and they do the same thing. And if you don't fit that mold, which I don't, then you're never going to be happy. You're going to look back and you say, why did I do that for that many years, listening to what other people said, when in fact I could just stand up on my own 2 feet and say, you know what, I'm good enough. I'm a good person, and I can walk my path no matter what anybody says. And if somebody decides to fire me or somebody decides that I'm not good enough or anything like that, well, so be it. I'll go find something else. I'm a talented, young human being. Even when I'm 65, I'm a talented young human being that could do many things in this world. Yes, there'll be a restart. It'll be a little tough, but I can go do it. And I want you to remember that always. Don't ever lose that gumption. People wanting to take things away from you, that always exists, but you always keep that gumption of you being you at all moments. Somebody ever tells you something like that, you ignore them. Anytime you hear those moments, completely ignore them and keep going. You walk your own path, because nobody's living in your shoes. Nobody looks like you. Nobody's ever had the same experiences as you. In fact, this was a great debate many years ago in the social sciences of how do we actually look at this. In the sciences in general, we know things are completely different. We focus on similarity and conformity and making sure that everything is all similar. But in reality, we're very much different. Every moment, everything is very, and I want you to remember that, is that at best, people are generalizing from a sample of one. At best, people are even if you garner a big sample, at best, we're getting 5-10% that we're explaining of the population. It's not very much. So that means 95% of the world is unexplained. 95% is based on you. So go do it. You do your own path.